The single biggest threat to America isn't the national debt, it's not the Strait of Hormuz, and it's not even the AI bubble itself. It's energy. But not energy in the way you're probably thinking. It's not blackouts or your monthly utility bill. It's that America has pushed all its chips to the center of the table and bet the entire economy on one wager, that AI arrives on schedule. And energy is the thing that decides the schedule. Because right now, AI feels invincible. The valuations keep growing, the spending isn't slowing down, and the stock market keeps pumping. But if something's gonna pop the AI bubble, it's energy. And by the end of this video, I can prove it to you. But first, the size of the wager. Because betting the economy isn't an exaggeration. In 2024, the biggest tech companies spent a little over $200 billion building AI infrastructure. In 2025, that number hit almost $400 billion. This year, their own estimates say more than $700 billion. So the spending isn't just growing, it's nearly doubling every year. And it's that spending that's carrying the economy. The level of concentration we're seeing in these tech stocks isn't subtle. It's practically screaming, it's a bubble. Last quarter, AI accounted for more than half of America's real GDP growth. George Saravelos, head of FX research at Deutsche Bank, wrote in a message to clients, AI machines appear to be saving the U.S. economy right now. In the absence of tech-related spending, the U.S. would be close to, or in, a recession this year. But you probably already know all this. You've likely heard AI is a bubble a million times by now. And here's the thing about all those bubble takes. Every single one of them is arguing about the wrong question. They're arguing about whether AI is here to stay, whether it's truly going to revolutionize every industry, and whether a chatbot that can't count the letters in strawberry is maybe about to take your job. But that was never the right question. The real bet isn't whether AI works. It's actually about whether we can even physically deliver it on time. Whether the AI future can arrive fast enough to justify the insane prices we're paying for it today. Because right now, money is disappearing into AI faster than Thanos can snap his fingers. It's the fastest and largest build-out in history, yet nobody's actually making any money on it, which is fine, for now. Investors will happily fund losses as long as they think a payoff is on its way. But eventually, the investors, the companies, and the lenders funding all of this need that payoff to actually show up. Eventually, the capital has to come home with a return. That's how the AI bubble pops. It's not when it fails, but when it's late. When the capital starts to get sick of waiting around and decides to go somewhere else. So what decides whether AI shows up on time? And what determines whether these trillions of dollars from big tech will ever see a return on investment? Well, before I get into that, let's take a quick pause. Because you've probably heard this 1,000 times by now. Learn AI or you'll get left behind. But nobody mentions the hard part. ChatGPT is good at one thing, Claude at another, Gemini something else. So you end up subscribed to all of them. At roughly $20 a month each, that's $60 a month total, or $720 a year, all just to try and keep up. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Chat LLM by Abacus AI. They've solved that problem. Chat LLM by Abacus AI puts every top model in one place. GPT 5.6, Claude Fable 5, Gemini 3.1, even Grok and DeepSeek. And when a new model drops, it's instantly available, which means no waiting around and no new subscriptions. You can pick which model to use yourself, or let the Route LLM feature read your prompt and automatically pick the best model for you. And Chat LLM by Abacus AI goes past just chat. It can generate images, video, and even build full apps and websites with hosting included, no code needed. The price for all this is just $10 a month, less than any single subscription it replaces. If you're interested, you can check out Chat LLM by Abacus AI using the link below or in the pinned comment. Thank you to Abacus AI for sponsoring this video. Now back to the single wager our entire economy's riding on. This entire bet is trapped inside a race between two clocks. Clock 1 decides how fast the AI future can actually arrive, how quickly we can build it, plug it in, and turn it on. Clock 2 decides how long we can afford to wait for it. We'll get to that later because it's the scarier of the two. So, let's start with the first one. Whenever a technological breakthrough like AI shows up, Wall Street loves to hand out the same Mark Twain quote as advice. Don't bet on the miners, invest in the picks and shovels. The phrase is more overused than the man in the arena speech in a one-bedroom San Francisco apartment with 4 founders vibe coding an AI app. What Wall Street's saying is, don't try to pick the winning chatbot. Just buy the stuff underneath the boom, the data centers, the power, the infrastructure. But here's what nobody mentions when they hand you that advice. America's running out of picks and shovels, because you can't just build a data center. A data center doesn't get electricity by plugging into the grid and asking nicely. It has to join something called an interconnection queue. That's the waitlist to get access to the power grid. Think of it as the DMV, but for electricity. Except instead of measuring the wait in bad attitudes and hours, the interconnection queue measures it in regulatory headaches and years. In America's largest power grid, that wait has stretched from under 2 years in 2008 to over 8 years today. And the wait list is only where the problems start, because AI data centers don't use electricity the way an office tower does. Busy during the day, quiet at night, asleep on weekends. Data centers run full blast around the clock every day of the year. They already eat more than 4% of America's electricity. And by 2035, this number is expected to reach a fifth of the country's electricity consumption. And the main workhorse feeding this entire build-out is this alien-looking device, the gas turbine. Which is where the problems continue. It's the machine behind roughly 40% of America's electricity, and they're among the most complex pieces of machinery on Earth. Only a handful of companies can actually build one. 3 manufacturers control over 3/4 of the global market. One of them is GE Vernova. Its order backlog has ballooned from roughly 80 gigawatts to 116, and its own CEO says the company will be largely sold out through the end of 2028. And in 2024 alone, developers ordered nearly 3 times more turbine capacity than every factory on Earth could physically produce in a single year. Which means it doesn't matter how many zeros big tech puts on the check, the manufacturers are structurally constrained. But it's not just the gas turbines either. Transformers, which are the machines that step power down from the grid, now take over 2.5 years to get, with an estimated 30% supply shortage. And for new transmission lines, they take 6.5 years on average to complete due to permitting delays, backlogs, and a mountain of other BS. So it's not just a single waitlist that's backed up, it's the entire American energy supply chain. We're seeing tech move at Netflix speeds, and the infrastructure underneath it moving at the speed of Blockbuster. Which is why the companies trapped between these 2 speeds are starting to act desperate. 2 developers reportedly paid $25 million, not for a turbine, just to reserve a place in line for one. Others are rebuilding retired jet engines to makeshift the power they need. We're seeing grown, profitable companies bolting old aircraft engines to the ground because they're desperate for power. So the obvious fix is the one you're already thinking. Just build more. Big tech is great at throwing money at problems. Why not throw money at the source until the clock speeds up? Well, we already ran that exact experiment, and money lost. Remember that 8-year wait just to plug into the grid? It belongs to a power grid called PJM Interconnection. PJM is the largest grid operator in America, serving 67 million people across 13 states, from Chicago to Washington, D.C., roughly 1 in 5 Americans. If you live anywhere in that footprint, your lights are on because of decisions they make, and PJM's biggest decision of the year happens at an event nobody watches, the capacity auction.